Hey everyone, welcome back to another podcast with the whole truth. This is a podcast that you guys have been waiting for. So basically Juliana went live I think it was like last week, and she talked about like her haters and how she thinks that we're working like hand in hand with bread. Not true, I might just state. And she made some pretty wild allegations against Bread and saying that, he has been physically abusing her over the years. So there are quite a few little snippets. So I'm just going to insert each snippet and we'll chat about it as we go. But here is the first snippet.
So last night he was here. My Jeep was a mess, like disgusting. The kids just completely destroyed it. There was so much sand and wet, like bathing suits and towels and stuff from when we go to the splash pad and when we go to the park, and it was just nasty. So I've been like itching to clean out my Jeep. So he was here and I was like, do you mind like staying in with them? And it's dark out, it's nighttime, it's cooler, and I'll detail my Jeep, and I just want to like relax and have a little bit of alone time.
So I just want to start by saying, if they are splitting up, and like she says, they're no longer together, she needs to stop relying on Bread in this way. Like, you now have 4 kids. You can't give them away, they're your kids, and you're sharing them with your husband, who's going to be your ex-husband soon. How do you constantly expect him to just step in when you can't care for the children? Like normally, if you're a single mum and you have 4 kids and you need to clean your car, you will either do it at the time when they're at their dad's and he's caring for them on his time, or you take them with you and you clean the car. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just be like, oh, hey, I want to clean the car. Can you just stay for a bit longer and watch the kids for me? Like, I get, like, this is co-parenting and whatnot, but this isn't like they're great friends and they're co-parenting as great friends. Like, these people hate each other. So she needs to stop relying on Bread and start learning how to take the children with you, or doing it when it's on, it's his time to have the kids or whatever.
Because, like, I don't know if y'all are like that, but when you get in the mood to clean, I feel like it's very, like, therapeutic for you. Oh, gosh. Zinnia was up all night throwing up, by the way, so my kids are all out of school at the moment. So he agreed, and I went to the car wash. Me and Cecilia went to the car wash.
So, of course, she took Cecilia to the car wash and none of the other kids. So there's been heaps of comments about this lately. There has been tons of favoritism shown, just in comments and things that she, like, obviously she takes Cecilia everywhere. She'll take Cecilia on trips. The other day she was saying, I'm not going to take her out of school for this trip because, I don't really want to take her out of school. And it's like, okay, but you're considering taking one child out of school to go. Why wouldn't you take one of your younger ones that isn't in school? Like, why wouldn't you take them with you? Yeah, it's really sad. But before, she wasn't as obvious with the favoritism, and now it's getting, like, really obvious. The other day she took Lena and Cecilia out for milkshakes or something after school, and you wouldn't even know Lena was there because she was, like, barely in one of the videos. She was captured in the background. So it was all about Cecilia, And then the other day, Julia had put up a post saying, like, how she gets really anxious when she leaves to go to Walmart, and Juliana's like, yeah, I did too, but the others, like with Cecilia, but the others, nah. Like, you're an influencer and your kids are probably going to see this stuff later. Like, you have to understand that it's going to be everywhere. You're putting this information out there in front of like 40,000 people. So I really feel like it's dangerous territory because the kids are going to see that. And I do understand, when Bread was in jail, it was just her and Cecilia. Like, I understand that, but when he got out of jail, like, they built a life with more children, and she has to accept that. You can't just, she said stuff about mourning the life of what it was like before kids, but Cecilia was okay, but, the other kids, it wasn't. Like, but, they were fighting at the start of the year and trying for another baby. Like, do you really think a baby is going to make you happy? You don't like the other kids that you have. Why would you want to have another baby? Just, I don't know. Let me know, though, in the comments if you think that there's a lot of favoritism happening. Like, do you think it's a reach, or do you think there's favoritism?
And then we went and vacuumed out my Jeep. And we stopped at Family Dollar to get new air fresheners, and I picked up some White Claws. So after we got home, I finished, like, cleaning my Jeep, like, wiping it down. And what is that face, babe? And I was just chilling. Like, I was going to go live on Instagram, but, like, Instagram was a mess yesterday. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but, like, no one could go live and, like, Instagram stories weren't posting. Can you stop, please? Thank you. Sebastian, do you want to stay in here with me? Okay, then behave. So I went live on Facebook and we were just vibing. Like, I was drinking my White Claw, relaxing. He was supposed to be inside spending time with his kids, getting them to bed. I mean, I was outside till like 11, just vibing in my car, in my driveway.
So I'm sure some people won't agree with this and they'll probably say it's a bit of a reach, but have you ever noticed how when Brett gets to spend quality time with his kids, it always falls around that really hectic part of the day? You know what I mean? You know, when you got to cook dinner and then you got to feed them and you got to clean up after them and then you've got to put them in the shower and get them dressed and then read to them and put them to bed. Like, there's just those couple of hours every night where it's just crazy time. Like, we call it crazy hours in our house, but where it's absolutely insane and you're trying to get everyone sorted for bed. And meanwhile, Juliana's just sitting out there in a Jeep getting drunk in the driveway while on live. And I mean, I know he would be sure that she'd be bitching about him because every time she goes live, she disses the crap out of him. You know what I mean? So I can see why he's a little bit annoyed. You know, she's sitting there saying it's 11 p.m. at night. So he's still 11 p.m. and he's struggling to get kids to bed. And she's out there getting drunk on live. I'd be annoyed too. Come on.
So all of a sudden, like, he starts getting angry. He comes outside. I said on my live that it was my brother because honestly, I was kind of afraid of what was going to happen. Like, the way he was looking at me and like tapping on my window, I was like, I already know he's about to start some shit.
Wait, why on earth would you lie to your followers about who tapped on the window? That is so strange.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun last night. So I get off live and he's like, you're drinking? And I'm like, yes. It's a White Claw, okay? And he starts like telling me that I'm a bad mom and just talking shit to me. And I'm like, are you serious right now? I was like, you need to leave. So I come inside. You guys, my house was destroyed. When I tell you, I think this man literally gave my children mustard and ketchup and barbecue sauce and told them to spray it all over the kitchen. That is what I walked into. There was some kind of sauce on my ceiling. It was all over the floor. Garbage was everywhere. Diapers were everywhere. All my kids were up. It was a hot ass mess. And I'm like...
Was she on live in her car for like a week? Because how do you come back and there's diapers everywhere and there's garbage everywhere? Like, how long was she gone for?
What people need to understand with, right, and he knew what I was doing. I was relaxing. He just loves to be in control of every single little thing that I do. And if I'm enjoying myself, he's unhappy. That's how it's always been. He wants me in the pits of hell, and that's period. If I'm laughing and having a good time, he's angry.
Well, I mean, most of the time when she's like laughing and having a good time on her lives, it's at his expense. So I can see why this pisses him off a bit.
So what I want people to understand is everything that this man does is extremely calculated. And he let the kids destroy the house solely because in his mind, he's like, well, I don't live here anymore. This isn't my house. And I'm just here to spend time with my kids. So I was like, I got so overwhelmed and I started crying. And I was like, I'm like, dude, you're a grown man. You can't handle your kids and get them to bed in a timely manner and keep them from tearing up the house.
Now, that's actually a little ironic when you find out what happens at the end of this live and what her kids have been up to this whole time while she's been ranting about bread.
So then, punishing me. Absolutely. So then he's like, why don't you have your brother clean? And he starts screaming and talking shit about my brother, who's in his room minding his business, probably asleep. He starts talking shit about my brother. So I'm like, you need to leave. And at this point, Absolutely. Because I've been looking into this. Like, when shit started getting really bad to the point where it was affecting me physically and my health, and like the people around me were like, this is not normal, I started researching all this shit. So I see it for what it is now. But I still give him the benefit of the doubt because he's my kid's dad and I need help. So, and it all lines up. Like, it all lines up with what I'm about to say. So we're going back and forth, and he threatens to punch me in my face in front of Cecilia. So I'm like, all right. So I spent until 2 a.m. trying to get this man out of my house. And I was like, I will call you an Uber because you're not taking my car. I'm done. He rides around in the vehicle that I bought, and you shit on me every chance you get. You're not taking that car. I'm going to sell it. I can use the money. You're not taking that car anymore. I said, I'll call you an Uber. Because he kept saying someone was going to come pick him up. Someone was going to come pick him up. I was like, I'll call you an Uber. He's like, no, my mom's coming home from the arcade. She'll come pick me up. Do you think she ever came and picked him up? No. So, I'm trying to get him out. I get my kids to bed. I'm trying to get him out till like 2 a.m. And then Zinnia wakes up and she starts throwing up all over the place.
There is a good possibility that Zinnia throwing up was actually like a stress-induced thing, like listening to them fight, not necessarily bug. Because, I mean, these kids, they have bugs all the time, according to Juliana, and I just feel like maybe they're not all to do with bugs. They could be stress-induced. Because who gets that many stomach bugs? Unless you're not washing your hands and practicing good hygiene with your children, they shouldn't get this many bugs.
He was downstairs. And I finally fall asleep. We finally fall asleep. I wake up, and mind you, today I was supposed to go get my hair done and my lashes done because I'm supposed to go to Georgia. And I've been trying to play nice with him so that I can go to Georgia and see my best friend and my niece. And he knows this. So he was supposed to have today off so that he could stay home with the kids, especially with Zinni being sick, so that I could go to my appointment and get ready for my trip. And I wake up and he's gone, and he took my keys and my vapes and all the cash that was in my purse.
Babe, come on. You know what he is like. This happens every single time. You would think by now that when Brett comes around to your house and you know he's a thieving baby daddy, that you're going to put your bag and your keys and your money and all that shit, you're going to hide it. You're going to hide that away from him. Like, if I knew that I had, a relative coming to my house and I knew I had a habit of stealing, do you think I would leave all my good shit out? No, I would not.
I had a spare key for my Jeep anyways, so I ended up, Drew's here and he's been helping me all day. But, like, so fucking evil.
You know what, Brad? She kind of has a point because, I'm not friends with her or, like, follow her or anything like that. Like, I just see what has been sent into me over the last few years, and she definitely has a point. Every time that Juliana has something planned, he does go out of his way to sabotage it. Like, I've noticed it. I'm sure you guys have all noticed it as well. Every time she has something going where she's leaving to go on a trip, he just gets, like, spiteful. I don't know if it's, like, because he's spiteful about the fact that he can't go anywhere himself, or he's just, like, really insecure and thinking, she's going to go and find someone else. I don't know, but I've definitely noticed the same pattern that she's talking about.
So because I have to miss my appointment, if you miss within 24 hours, you don't cancel within 24 hours, you have to pay 50%. My appointments aren't cheap. You just took money out of my pocket. You lied to me. You played me. You stole from me. And you tried to fuck me over in the process. And he still has my car. I've been saying all day, like, you need to bring me the car, or I'm just going to report it stolen. So he's saying he's on his way here. Okay, babe, can you stop, please?
Now, I mean, I could just be, like, blowing this way out of proportion, but I wonder if Brett maybe thinks that when she's, like, saying, bring me back my car, that she's, like, looking for an excuse to talk to him. Like, have you ever been in those, like, toxic-ass relationships and you break up with them and then they find, like, any excuse to come around to your house? Like, excuse me, but, like, I left this biro at your house and, like, I really need it. Can I come and pick it up? That sort of shit. Because, like, you've been ignoring them. So, they have to find a way where you have to answer them back. Like, you know, they might be messaging you going, oh, I really want to see you, I miss you, and you're like, dude, fuck off, and like you just don't answer them. So then they have to find like an excuse of why they have to go around to your house or why they have to be at your house. And I wonder if like either A, that is what it is, and Juliana is actually the one that wants Brett to come back around to the house, and he's just not responding to her like she hopes he is. Like, you know, he used to be the one that was like, oh, please take me back and stuff, and maybe now that he's been like seeing other women or whatever she said he's doing, maybe now he's like not as responsive to those demands, you know. So it's like, well, she'll message him and be like, you know, bring me back my car, like I want my car back, because he's not replying to her text messages. And because she said that in her other video, she actually said, like in the other live, she was saying how she was messaging him all day, he wasn't responding, and like, yeah, I get it, he had her car and stuff, but you know, like there's been heaps of occasions where she's trying to get a hold of him and he'll just ignore her for the entire day. So she has to say something that will get some sort of response. And like saying, you know, bring me back my car, I'm going to report it stolen, obviously that's going to get you a response. So I don't know if, you know, that's what she's doing here, or if that's what he believes she's doing here. So it's like, in his mind, it's like a big game.
And like, what's sick is the hate pages are working hand in hand with him. They're recording every single thing I post and sending it to him, and he's seeing it, and he thinks that because I get on here and I talk about him, he can treat me this way.
So first I want to say, obviously, I've said it before, I'll say it again, I have never spoken to Brett. We don't send him anything from the page. I would never do that. You know, if Brett wants to find that material, though, he can find himself. Like, even if he doesn't like this particular gossip page, you know, he knows that there's a lot of the snippets are on YouTube, and he could go and look for himself. I mean, family members could have found it and then sent it to him, or, you know, the girl, whoever he was seeing on the side, who's her arch nemesis, she might be watching them and sending them to him. Like, you never really know. But, like, no, we do not condone Brett ever treating you that way. The only person that makes Brett think it's okay to treat you that way is yourself, because you're not leaving that situation. Like, you're the only one condoning the behavior. We're not condoning the behavior. If you don't condone the behavior, don't take that behavior. You know, walk away from it. It's nobody else's responsibility but your own. You do not have to be treated that way if you choose not to be treated that way.
So now I'm not ever going to shut up, because what's going to happen is I'm going to post all... They probably went to ride their scooters. Why don't you go with Drew? Why don't you go with Uncle Drew and them and play? I'm going to post all the years of videos that I have of abuse, because I've been tiptoeing around the abuse for so long, and I don't tell you all the truth.
So I'm sure this is going to be like a really unpopular opinion, because, you know, some of you might do it, I don't know. But in my mind, I can never fully understand why anyone would be recording their partner being abusive towards them, like on the sly. You know, I hear people say, oh, well, it's for court purposes, just to show what sort of person they are. But, you know, it's really only showing one side, because you can manipulate a recording many ways. Let's look at, like, Courtney, for example. She used to share, like, you know, Mel being abusive towards her, but in these voice recordings that she was sharing, she actually sounds like she's antagonizing him. You know, like, he would tell her to fuck off, and he'd go to, like, another room, and she would follow him to the next room and be, like, in his face, you know. So it escalates the situation. Like, had she just left him be, it probably wouldn't have escalated the way it did. You know, but, like, I'm not condoning violence, like, in any way. I will never condone violence. But at the same time, it's not really accurate, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure that your partner could record you in some pretty crazy moments too, where, you know, you've did or said things that you're not very proud of. So I just feel like it's, like, really one side. You know, you look at Crystal, for example. Like, Crystal and Matt, they'd have an argument, and she would record it on the sly and be like, you know, you told me, and you can tell she's, like, coaxing him to repeat what he'd said previously. And, like, that's not okay. And the only reason she was doing it so that she could show people on the internet what a bad guy he was. You know, it's all like a power play. And I don't know. I just don't like it. I feel like if you're in a relationship where you have to record your partner being violent all the time to prove to people how violent he is, why not just leave him? Like, I know domestic violence and how it works, and sometimes you're just not in that situation to be able to leave. But, I mean, if you're going to be keeping all these recordings on your phone over the years to show in court and say, well, you know, I want to have full custody of the kids because this guy's abusive, they're going to be like, well, you know, are you really a caring parent if you've stayed for like 5-6 years with a man that you're claiming is really abusive and has done these things in front of your children? I don't know. I just feel like it's really counterproductive. It's just the way I look at it. Like, you know, I'm sure people want to show other people like what their partner's like when they are being abusive and whatnot. But, you know, I feel like the same could have been done the other way as well. You know, I mean, I'm sure Brad could have recorded some pretty hectic moments when Juliana's going off her head as well. So I just don't understand the whole recording thing.
I'm so tired of his family talking shit about me. I'm so tired of him painting me out to be crazy. I'm so tired of him having these people convinced that... Cecilia, can you please go? I don't want... I'm trying to talk, and I don't want you guys hearing this stuff because it's adult stuff. So please, can you give me some space? You guys have been up my butt all day.
Because we love you.
I cleaned the entire downstairs. Go turn on a movie.
Oh, I don't know if you guys heard that in the background, but she was like, you've been up my butt all day, and she's like, that's because we love you. It's like the sweetest thing.
You're not going to get your iPad. Sorry, you lost that privilege. Go. Go turn on a movie. I'll make some popcorn and come down and watch it with y'all. Cecilia, the fact that I'm having to ask you several times is a problem. I've been with you all day. Let's not start that. Like, he's got all these people convinced that I'm so crazy and I'm so hard to deal with. And it's like, let's talk about how many times you put your hands on me. Let's talk about how many times you dragged me around while I was pregnant. Let's talk about you splitting the stitches open in my crotch right after giving birth to your daughter.
Okay, so, wow. That's obviously some pretty strong allegations against Brad. I mean, she's sitting there saying that this happened during or after she'd given birth to one of her daughters. I'm not sure which one. I'm sure we'll find out after this. But, you know, she's gone on to have Bash afterwards. So why would you continue to have children with a man that's abusing you while you're pregnant and abusing you in front of your children?
Because you kicked me. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about all the hair you've ripped out of my head.
And I just wanted to reiterate here as well that in no way am I victim shaming Juliana. Like, I would not wish this upon my worst enemy. I can't imagine being pregnant and being in such a vulnerable position and then having someone treat you that way. Like, I cannot... My husband, when I was pregnant, was just the most amazing person, you know what I mean? He was always checking up on me. He would go and get me whatever I needed. You know, I couldn't even carry bags up a step without him, like, stepping in, like, no, I'll do this. Like, he would rub my feet every night. He'd massage my shoulders. Like, he was absolutely amazing. I cannot even imagine him putting a hand on me in any negative form while I was pregnant. Like, at all, actually. Like, he would never, ever do that to me. And I cannot imagine... You know, I've been in relationships before where there was, like, domestic abuse, you know, but I wasn't pregnant. I didn't have children in that situation. And I can't even imagine, like, that was degrading enough, just being in that situation without having children and without being pregnant. Like, when you're pregnant, it's meant to be the best time of your life. And I feel so sad for her that she had to go through this.
Let's talk about all the glasses you've broken off my face. And on top of that, that's just the physical. We can talk about the mental and emotional that I've been going through for 10 years that has literally caused me brain damage. Can you please give me a second, baby?
Nope.
I don't want to talk about these things in front of you. I'm just having a moment. Can you just let me have a moment, please? Okay, baby. Go downstairs and find a movie for us to watch. don't like talking about this shit, but y'all, like, I feel like I'm losing my mind. Like, all last night, like, I'm being told that I'm ugly, I'm botched, making fun of my body from my head to my toe, telling me I'm fake, I'm phony.
Now, the fake and phony part actually makes me wonder whether Bread's actually, speaking out about their whole lifestyle that they've claimed that they've had over the last few years. She's always claiming about how much money they make, and they make hundreds of thousands of dollars, and how the tax lien was a mistake because it was just chump change. So I wonder if maybe that's the reason why she hasn't left him, because if she does leave him and he does speak out about the truths over the last few years, that's going to be really bad for business, because everyone's going to know that she's completely fake when it comes to all of the stories she's told about her success and her business over the years. And it's going to be hard for her to continue to get people to sign on if they realize that this whole time she's been lying.
I'm crazy. I need to get on my medicine. My brother's crazy. My entire family's crazy.
Now, I'm definitely not a doctor, but she has openly said before that she has all of these mental illnesses. So, for him to say that she needs to go on medicine, maybe she actually does need to consider that. I mean, they've had lots of ups and downs, and maybe that is something that she needs to do. I don't agree with Bread throwing in her face during an argument. Like, if you think your significant other has mental illnesses or issues that are affecting your relationship, maybe that's something that you need to discuss when you're both at, level-headed, not during a fight where you just throw it at the other person out of spite, because that's kind of crappy for him to turn around and use her mental illnesses against her, if that makes sense.
And all I wanted was him out of my house.
Look, during this, I really did start to feel sorry for her, and then I have to remind myself that this is Juliana we're talking about, because, I imagine it'd be frustrating when you're saying, get out of my house, get out of my house, and then he won't leave. But at the same time, when he is out of her house, she's always looking for an excuse to get him to come back to the house. Does that make sense? With the car, bring the car back right now, or I'm going to say that it's stolen. She has no need to hold the car over his head. It's, right now she doesn't need that car right now. It's not a huge level of importance to her. She has her own car, but she's using it for power. I own that car, so I own you. Bring the car back, or I'm going to call the police. And then he comes back with the car, and then she's like, get out of my house. I just want you out of my house, but I'm not going to give you any way to get home. You've got to work that out yourself. But then every time she takes the car off him, he somehow ends up with the car again. So it's like she keeps giving it back to him, that she has that control over him. I don't know how to explain it, but I mean, she makes him leave the house, and then she's like, get back to the house, or I'm calling the police. It just seems like I said before, when they're trying to find an excuse to get you to come back, pretending they still hate you and they've got control, but at the same time, they're the ones dying to have you back.
I know, and I don't want her hearing this stuff because she's so sensitive and she reads me so well, but I don't have anybody. I reached out to my mom today and she's working and my grandparents aren't here. And I just feel like I'm losing it. But y'all don't understand what you're doing. These hate pages that record everything I do and then go and tattle on me to him. You're not doing anything.
Once again, I'll say it. I've never sent Bread anything. People off the pages, I don't know if they send him things. I'm sure I'd know about it if they did, because they'd probably submit it. But who's to say it's not a fake account that belongs to Bread, Bread's sister, Bread's grandma, Bread's girlfriend? Any of those people could have a fake account following Juliana. Tons of people I know have been blocked by Juliana, and then they just follow off a fake account, and she accepts everyone. She doesn't actually look into the account. So it could be anybody. But if you're worried about Bread hearing the things you're saying about him, maybe you shouldn't be saying those things on a public forum. Maybe just refrain from saying the things that you don't want to get back to him, because eventually it's going to get back to him.
But putting me in harm's way.
So basically what Juliana's trying to say is she's allowed to run him down, talk crap about him, all she wants on her platform. And if he gets mad and retaliates with that, it's not her fault. It's whoever told him about it's fault. How does that make any sense?
I'm already there though, and that's what makes this so hard is I don't, I already there's so much damage. There's so much damage and I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should move far away. I don't know if I should just pick up and run. And he's so good at playing victim. He's so good at getting people to believe him. He beat my ass. I came to his grandmother's house and found my toddlers playing in the road in dirty diapers with no adults around. And I got upset and he put his hands on me and they lied and told the cops. I called the police because he slammed my head into my vehicle and was choking me. I called the police. They come and he plays victim and I went to jail for battery.
Look, I really don't think that if you call the police and they come to a scene for you, that they're going to arrest you unless there was, evidence that you've been the aggressor.
Because his mom and whoever else lied for him. So last night, I want to call the cops and have him escorted off my property. I was too afraid to. Because he lies so good. He dragged me around my house when I was pregnant with Zinnia. Literally sat on my chest and spit in my face. I called the police. They were outside ha-haing it up because he told the cops that I have bipolar disorder and I'm unstable.
Again, I really don't think the police are going to turn up to a situation and be laughing with someone out the front because you told them that your wife was bipolar. Again, you'd have to be displaying some sort of aggression yourself, or there'd be some sort of evidence that you were just as involved in it. I don't know, it just doesn't sit well with me. I don't believe, especially Brett being a felon, you would think that they'd be more likely to take Juliana's side in it. But if they're going to rock up and she's being, aggressive and yelling and things like that, of course they're going to see her as a little unstable.
And so when they were leaving, they patted him on the back and said, "You owe us a beer." He knows everybody.
It's actually interesting to hear how, she's upset here about sloppy police work. But then, when it comes to sloppy police work with selling counterfeit handbags, she's got no problem with them being sloppy then. She's got the police coming around saying, well, it's fine. You're just not doing it right. You just have to let people. You're allowed to sell counterfeit handbags, providing you tell people they're counterfeit. I can't even believe that would have happened. But, if that's the truth, then what do you expect from these police officers? Clearly, they don't care about their job.
I do record a lot. I have so many videos, and that's what I was talking about. I'm getting to the point where, I just want to post everything. I have so many videos, so many recordings, so many voicemails, so many voice notes.
I'm actually going to call Bush on this one. I'm sure she's got voice recordings and stuff, but I very much doubt she has videos of this, because if she did, by now, she would have shared that. I think she would have shared that information.
So many text messages saved that for this reason, that if I were to ever leave and he were to try to come for the kids or something, I have proof to show the truth. But everybody thinks that he's so innocent. And I've been trying for so long to be cordial for the sake of the kids. What's wrong? You want to come in here with me? You want to come sit with me? He's not in there. He's downstairs. Come sit with me. When y'all are oh, is he physically abusive? I skip over the question. Now I'm to the point where you're going out of your way. I've been trying to be nice. I've been trying to be cordial. I've been trying to make your life a little bit easier so you can be there for your kids. Bash and his terrible twos is so bad right now. Can y'all leave him alone, please? No, Hannah, that's part of the problem. Stop, he doesn't want you touching.
I think Hannah actually just told her just to post them, and she said no.
Person, and they just shit on me all the time. And his family, they just shit on me all the time. And I'm always made to feel like I'm so crazy, and I don't think I'm crazy. Literally, that's what I said. I'm you're going to end up, because he was threatening me last night, and then he put his hands on me last night in the middle of the night when everybody was sleeping, and thankfully Drew woke up and he came in the room, and then he tried to fight my brother. And he just taunts me. I went downstairs because I was going to sleep up here because he wasn't leaving. So he comes upstairs. So I go downstairs and he's standing at the top of the stairs just calling me all kinds of names and making fun of me and just taunting me and taunting me and taunting me because he wants me to run up here and try to fight him. But this is what I was talking about. So to everybody that's like, oh, you're always taking trips. What are you talking about? He was controlling. This man's controlling what I do and we're not even together. I said, y'all don't know how he is. I told him 2 days ago that I was planning to go to Georgia and that I had a hair appointment today so that I could get ready for my trip. And he made sure that didn't happen. Took my keys, took my cash, everything. Everything he does is calculated.
How damn cute is Bash, though? Listen to him singing.
Like, I fucking hate it here. What was he singing? Rain, rain, go away. And to keep me from going. And I said, I screenshotted the text. I said that I was going to get a restraining order. And he said, a restraining order, you're dumb as shit. You slut bucket. All you do is get drunk and get fucked, you cum guzzler.
Oh, wow. Tell us what you really think, Brad. That's disgusting. Like, honestly, that is disgusting. I cannot even imagine my husband saying those words. Like, this is your wife and the mother of your children, and that's what you text her? Whew.
When I mentioned a restraining order. So, cops aren't going to do anything. He's not here. He's supposed to bring me my car. I mean, I think that I could report it stolen, but the way he's going to word it is like, this was my car, she lets me use it, and they're going to be like, well, just give it back. And I just don't want to deal with police. I don't want them at my house. I don't want my kids seeing that. So he said he's going to bring me the car, and we'll see. But I'm just like, yeah, that's why I save everything. Anything worth saving, I save it and then I text it to Julia and Betty so that they have it in case it ever gets deleted off my phone or if anything happens to me. Yeah, it's just my name on the car. I just always, I don't know, I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt. And it's like every time I do that now, it's just getting worse and worse. It's getting more and more disrespectful. Like, I literally put in my notes in my phone last night that if something happens to me, it's him. The man has nothing to lose. He's getting very spiteful, yeah. And it's getting worse because he realizes I'm not taking him back. Baby, please stop before that falls out and hurts you. And he's mad because I'm on here talking about being single. So thank you so much to the hate pages that are reporting everything to him because you're really amping him up.
This girl really is obsessed with the pages, honestly.
Yeah, and they think it's funny because they feel bad for him. They think he's so charming and sweet and innocent.
Ew, no, we didn't say that.
And I promise you they would change their mind if they saw the videos I have. Yeah, my charges got dropped. And those officers even apologized to me because the second time I had to go out when Brett was letting drug dealers drive the vehicle and go make runs in it, they left it abandoned on the side of the road, and the cops were like, they felt like they mishandled the situation and they had regrets.
What does Brett driving around and doing drug deals in a car have anything to do with her beating him up in front of the kids? Like, that's two separate cases. They're not anywhere near associated.
That's what my caseworker said too. The DCF worker that had to get involved because I had a battery charge and it happened in front of my children, he said that he was good friends with the officer and that the officer had major regrets.
Oh, wow. Now there's major regrets, guys. It's gone from regrets to major regrets. And I could be wrong here, so if I am, just correct me in the comments below. But I thought that she said that the CPS worker said there had been regrets, meaning Brett's family. I thought she alluded to the fact it was Brett's family, not the police officers. But either way, we're going from regrets to major regrets. Why would you majorly regret arresting someone who has shown aggression and, like, there is physical evidence that they've been aggressive towards the other person. Like, what are these police doing? Where are they from? Like, what the hell is going on over there?
The officer knew my husband since he was 16, and he told him that if we take you in for strangulation with your record, you're going away for 5 years, or you can let her take the fall and she'll be out tomorrow. So he let me take the fall.
There is literally new gems added to this story every single day. Like, this story just changes and changes. It gets bigger and more exciting. Okay.
And obviously, the police officers felt guilty afterwards for not doing their job.
Take my hand off.
And I told those cops on the way to the jail, I said, if I end up dead, that's on your hands. Because I called for help and you guys did the opposite.
So it sounds to me like she was being pretty mouthy towards the police officers. And I'm sorry, sweetheart, but being the only white person there doesn't mean that you're automatically going to be assumed innocent.
Corrupted here. It's all about who you know. That's why my landlord's so protective over me now, because when he found all that out, he got really angry. Because that wasn't the police department in the town I live in. It was, they have their own, where Brett grew up, right next to us. That's why, like, I don't know, Danny, like, I don't know. I'm just so overwhelmed, so I just wanted to get it off my chest, because I've been, like, cleaning, I've been painting today, just trying to keep myself busy, because I'm so frustrated. I'm running on no sleep. Zinni's doing better now. But I'm just really overwhelmed. No, it was Fellsmere. I was thinking about that last night, but, like, it's not that I need, like, help like that. It's just, I don't know. I'm so exhausted. They're on YouTube because they got their iPads taken away, so they watch YouTube videos of the same shit they're not allowed to be on, but I don't feel like fighting right now. I think I'm going to call my landlord and just tell him I need to get into that house. It's an hour away and no one would know where it's at. And if I just have to wake up an hour earlier to get the kids to school in the morning, I'll just have to do that until I get them situated somewhere else. No, and that's the sick part about it, is I know when he brings the car back, he's going to act like everything's fine and he's probably going to apologize. Because that's how he operates after he's ruined my plans and screwed me over. Now we're even. Now we're okay. So there's no reason for him to be upset right now because he won. So I'm sure he'll come here and be like, here's your car. Things got out of hand. Just relax. Do you want me to take the kids? Ow, babe! Stop opening these. They're gonna fall out. You just slammed my finger in between it. I know, that's what I try to remind myself, Sam. Because I'm to the point where, like, I'm just in a really dark place. But my kids need me, obviously. Yeah, and I can easily get him taken off of the list at the school because they already know what's up. I told him that. I was like, I don't know why you can't just focus on the kids. Like, be a good dad to them. You're so wrapped up in me and what I'm doing and the fact that you don't want to let me go and you want to control my life, that you are fucking your kids over. And they are starting to hate you. Cecilia does not like her dad because she sees what he does. She hears how he talks to me. She's not dumb. I'm like, you are ruining your relationship with your kids.
I mean, you can't really put all of that on Brad because she does talk about him a lot in front of Cecilia, like on her lives and stuff. And not just that, but she allows Cecilia to badmouth Brad. Like, even if I'm mad at my kid's dad, I would never allow them to badmouth him in any way. And I would never badmouth him to my children.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm so drained. I'm tired. Like, there's so much that I want to do, and I feel like I don't have the energy to do it. He's gonna come here and act like shit's sweet. Like, he's gonna do me some kind of favor. Like, he knows he gets me to these points, and then usually I'm so tired and drained that if he comes back and apologizes and is like, do you want me to take the kids? Do you want some help? Like, I take the help because I'm tired. And I can't do that anymore because he uses it against me. Yeah, and I feel like people don't understand unless they've been here, and it's just such an awful place to be. Like, you can make all the money in the world and still feel trapped. And he's taken a huge, hit to my business. I've taken a huge hit to my business over this because I've been suffering for 2 years now, and I can't work to the best of my ability like I used to because I'm always stressed out and depressed and not feeling good.
No, girl. It Works just isn't making the same amount of money anymore because you guys have signed almost every person in the world as a distributor at some point, and everybody else is not going to join because they know exactly what the company is. But, you know, blame Brad. Of course you're going to blame Brad. You've got to have some reason for why this magical company is no longer working for you.
And taking care of everybody else, like, he wants to destroy every single thing that I've built. I was going to take Cecilia with me.
Mommy.
Because Cecilia's stressed out too.
Really? Zinnia's been up all night throwing up, but you're taking Cecilia because Cecilia's stressed out too?
And I wanted to have some one-on-one time with her and give her a trip because I didn't get to give her one this summer.
I think she's probably forgetting at this point that she has other children that also need one-on-one time.
Drew isn't like, he doesn't like confronting people, and he doesn't like fighting. I'll be able to see if he pulls up. That's why I'm sitting in front of the window. Yeah, and Drew also is very naive. Like, he's not good at reading things, like reading emotions in situations. He just tries to, like, de-escalate them and be a peacemaker. He doesn't understand how bad things can get. I've been praying about it all day. Like, I trust God and I trust, like, his plan, but I get angry at the same time because it's like I don't deserve any of this, so I just don't understand it. And I literally just feel so lonely. Like, you're gonna try to plug it in there. I don't think that will work. That one has to go into the wall, and then that's for like a charger or something. That's another plug-in. It's so exhausting. That's why, like, I would always tell Julia and Betty, it's so funny because people message me all the time and they're like, you look so happy, and like, meanwhile, like, I'm literally dead inside. But I just have to do that for my kids, and I feel like we just kind of train ourselves. It's easier to act okay than to break down and be a mess. But everybody reaches their breaking point, and I'm just reaching mine. And I know part of it is, like, I'm PMSing, for one. For two, I haven't slept in 2 days. Like, I was up all night with Zinnia while she was throwing up, and I was just crying. And then I wake up, I get like 2 hours of sleep, and I wake up and he fucks me over again. And I'm just like, you're just cruel. Like, and then when I lash out and get mad, he's like, you're so crazy. Look how you're talking to me. And I'm like, I don't owe you an ounce of fucking respect. An ounce of respect. You shit on me every chance. You make my life so fucking hard. And now I understand why they say be careful who you have kids with. I never understood that because I'm like, oh, I'm so independent. No, now I get it. Now I get it. This shit is killing me. Like,
But she said he's been like this all along. So, why would you continue to have kids knowing that he is this way?
This isn't him extra angry. This is him because he's lost control. He has always been like this when he loses control. He's not a nice person. He's not who y'all think he is. Like, when I was pregnant with Cecilia, he beat his sister up. Went to jail for beating his sister up. Like, he's not this... You guys view him that way because I painted him that way.
So he beat up his own sister, and you knew he beat up his own sister when you were pregnant with Cecilia, and yet you stayed with him while he was in jail, and then you continued to have another 3 children with him. Make it make sense.
Because that's what I wanted him to be. That's not who he is. He's not extra. I were to be like, let's work on things. Guess what he's going to do? He's going to keep the house clean. He's going to take care of the kids. He's going to do everything right for maybe a week or 2. And then it's all going to go down the drain again. Happens every single time. So this is just his true colors coming out. And he tries to spin it on me and make me sound so awful. And I'm so crazy. Yep. And it's sad because, like, the past couple weeks, like, this is what makes me so mad, is the past couple weeks I've been praying so hard, and I'm like, God, can you please change his heart? Like, can we please work this out? Not because I want to be with him, but just because, like, I'm tired of change. I'm tired of change, and I just want to make my family work. And I've been praying and praying and praying and praying, and it's like everything just keeps getting worse.
I know it.
And I'm like, all right, I hear you, but I'm really tired of living like this. You want to put my hair up? He basically sabotaged that whole thing. So I don't think I'm going to be able to go to Georgia. Did they make popcorn?
Huh?
Did they make popcorn?
Huh?
Did you poop? You want me to change you? Are you done pooping? You want to go get the stuff so I can change you? Okay.
Not judging or anything, but, like, if your child can communicate to you that they've pooped, they're done pooping, and then can go and get the nappy and the wipes so that you can change their nappy, they're probably ready for toilet training. Like, this isn't being nasty at all, but, like, I'm just saying, if they're able to communicate that with you and able to go and get the stuff so they know what they need to change their nappy, they're most likely able to use the potty and, like, wipe and whatnot on their own. Like, they're at that stage where they're aware of what's happening.
He just, like, will scream when he... What? They made a mess. What's new?
This is, like, literally my favourite part of the whole life, because you know how earlier she was dissing Bread when he was, like, cooking them dinner or whatever, and he's like, it looks like they've just had a food fight, and she's like, was he even watching them? This is kind of, like, hilarious, considering what she said. Just hold that thought.
Yeah, I say terrible twos, but he's about to be 3 next month. Going from 2 to 3 kids wasn't that hard. 3 to 4 was hard because they were only a year apart. Like, I feel like what makes it so hard is just Zen and Bash literally basically being the same age. Bash is being nice to me because he knows I'm upset. I was crying this morning, and the kids came up with wipes, and they were, like, wiping my tears. They're like, you okay, Mommy? You fell down? I'm like, yep, I fell down. I hurt my butt.
There ain't no way she's going to be hurting herself if she fell on that butt. She'd be, like, bouncing into the neighbor's yard.
I feel like the only time we were good was when I was letting him do whatever he wants, and he could spend my money however he wanted, and we stayed out of each other's way. That's when things were okay. When I was completely being used. No, I didn't fall. I was crying because I think I was sending voice notes to Julia, but I wasn't going to tell them when I was crying, so they thought I fell down. You hear Cecilia? She's like, turn it down. Because they're watching Roblox on YouTube. On the TV. because they don't have their iPads anymore. Exactly. Get a towel and dry off.
They made a big mess in the shower.
What do you mean?
There's like eggs everywhere.
Eggs?
I imagine this is why she needs to keep Brett around, so that she can do these hour-long lives without her kids completely destroying the house, because she's not supervising them at all. You have 4 children there and you're not even watching them, and they're throwing eggs around the house.
They made a mess with them. I'm trying to clean up, Mommy. Yeah. I cleaned a bathroom.
You have eggs in your hair?
He put
I literally am looking at it.
Yeah. He put air. Trying to get it stuff. He cracked
What is
eggs.
Drew doing?
I didn't know.
Drew's probably minding his own fucking business because they're not his kids.
He cracked eggs in my mouth.
Go close the fridge, please.
Butterball deli turkey.
I'm so scared to walk into this bathroom right now.
He got eggs.
Turn the water off now. Turn it off now. Zinnia Anastasia. Bash, you pooped. What are you doing in the shower? Turn the water off, Bash. There's eggs all over my floor. And you knew they were doing this? Lena?
God forbid she have to actually turn off the live and tend to her children.
I'm trying to clean up a floor.
You're soaking wet with eggs in your hair. You were trying to clean up?
Yeah, keep messing up. It is bad.
Where the hell is Drew?
Fucking, where the hell's Drew? Oh my God.
All right, y'all. I'm going to have to clean this up. Wish me luck. No. They cracked eggs everywhere. At least that's good for your hair, Nina.
Okay.
All right.
Lena's like, oh, thanks. I love that. That is like the cutest thing ever. But anyway, that is the end of the live, guys. Let me know what you think. Do you reckon that all this is true? What she's like, the allegations she's making against Bread? Do you think any videos will come out? Or is this more like, show me your bank account, where she doesn't actually ever show her own bank account? And it's more like allegations against Bread? Like, I kind of feel like if this was true and Bread did do the things that she said he did, by now, surely they would have come out by now. Like, really, she went to jail and she came out of jail and she was pissed as. There is no way she would not have shown those videos when she got out of jail if that was the case. I just can't see it. Like, I may be wrong, I don't know, but I really feel like those videos would have surfaced by now if that was the case. But let me know what you think. What do you think about each of the allegations, like about the stitches being busted open, like her sitting on him, him sitting on her, all of that stuff. What do you guys reckon? And also that text message from Bread where he said all those colourful things. Like, do you really think she was reading that from her phone? Like, is that for real? Do people talk like that to each other? I don't know. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry it was so long, but like I just wanted to put it all into one video. But I'll catch you guys back on the page at TWT 3.0.